And Kira Live, the voice of passionate action, bringing fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom for today's shifting paradigm. Now, it is your moment to open your mind, relax into your body and spirit as we explore the greater meaning of your now experience. Bringing wisdom, laughter, and clarity, here are Shri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ramka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and Shri and I welcome you on this extraordinary day of resurrection. And I want you to just breathe that in. Go outside of dogma for a moment. Go outside of what you think that word means, and just invite your heart to receive this gift. I'm going to scooch over. This gift that we are showering you with right now. Because what you are staring at here is what this amplified heart moon, this huge moment that humanity is in. We're going to be giving you all the details today. But what you are gazing at here is the equinox, the sunrise at Lowell Bay, Mexico. At the center of the Yucatan, on the ancient, true ancestral land, this moment will be the amplifier, that June equinox moment. So we wanted to open with the golden radiation that has been beaming in around all humanity right now. Remember that Jupiter? Let's not forget that's all going on behind the scenes. We're going to be diving into what's happening this week and where humanity has arrived. But we invite you in this moment to just receive, as we welcome you to yet another extraordinary moment for humanity. And I just want to say right off the bat, get into the chat. If you're over live at YouTube right now at Official Shri and Kira, get into the chat. Jess is there, Dana's there, Sue's there. I think Kyla's there, although she might be over at her clinic right now. After all, it is Sunday if you're with us live. But get in there and get your questions out there. Ask, because the information we're sharing today is deep, it's profound, it's important, and it all hinges on the you that is ready to step up into resurrection, fear, or expansion.
Yes. You know, it's an amazing time when we tune in with the flow. And in the energy of resurrection is certainly upon us. And this is a beautiful Sunday moment to be with you. It's the intersection of Ramadan and Easter and other traditions that celebrate the emergence of spring and the time that is upon us. However, when we really pause and bring a hand to our heart and say, I am here.
I am here.
We are invoking the resurrection of your authentic being to come forward. I am here. Try that.
And as you ignite a smile in the I am here, remember who is here. I am here is often declared by the egoic-centric presence. And so when the I am here is declared from that space, what it is saying is, I am here. And it will attach itself to the fourth dimensional frequencies that sustain the imminent collapse of that fifth dimensional presence. To say, I am here, is an ignition of something. It is either ignition of the wholeness of the mastery presence as the sea of neutrality, or I am here as the full expression of density, getting ready to dance with density in ways I have never danced before. And they're all good. It is outside of judgment. I am here, or I am here. It is a choice, and it is a conscious choice. And the reason that Shri is opening with that, and the reason that we are expanding that for you, is because of this moment of resurrection. So, Shri, let's see. I don't have my glasses on, so honest to goodness, there we are. All right. We're going to look first and foremost at the April 2022 up-level calendar. And what's important to remember is as you look at yesterday, as you look at the 16th, that was the anchoring the full heart moon. And we're going to put up that graphic shortly that shows you why that was so important. However, before we go there, I want you to really notice today. Today is a profound day. Today is April 17. It is the power of the 17. We know that when we come together in the energy of the 1 plus the 7, it is the ignition of eternal presence. And if you look at today, just look at it on the calendar, try to bring your focus just into this one sequence of today, you'll look and see that it is a unique moment in the month. Not only is it carrying the energy of resurrection, it is a unique intersection of alchemical weaving that offers humanity the opportunity to anchor more firmly into the second harmonic as a lineage holder conscious potentiality decision. So I want you to take those words in, conscious potentiality decision. And the reason those are so important is look at Wednesday. Wednesday the 20th, this week, is the full experience within the form that you have now of standing in the center of your divine mastery presence and being, and I mean the guy being with a capital B, right? Being the radiant, ignited master you are as I am. And we're already in this. This full heart moon is going to be with us really radiantly through the 18. And by the time we hit the 20th, which remember this month has been what? All about the Wednesdays. What will happen is that the sustaining experience, because it's a month of experience, of energy, momentum, and co-creative power will not only be the continual illumination of that which I am, but you see on the 23rd, we arrive ready to spin the return of all of this into next week, where we go into that Mercury retrograde in the energy of the resurrection that is calling into us from the alchemical processes of complete transformation right now. So before Shri says anything, I want you all to just take a breath on that. Let's give that the pause it deserves. Feel that again, and make sure when you breathe, you smile. Because when we do that breath, when we come in on that Ave, and we relax with the Sa, with a smile, we send the signal, that beautiful radiant gift out to the universe that says, yes, I am here, and we get it, yes, and we are ready. Yeah, there we are.
It's so important to remember that with each and every breath, we initiate another cycle. So consider how often that you breathe. How often do you breathe unconsciously, not paying attention? So in the unconscious breath is repetition of prior cycles. In the conscious breath is the resurrection of the intention of your most sacred beingness.
Yes.
So just dance with that for a moment. A conscious breath ignites a pathway forward. Because remember, beloveds, the past is just that, past. And when we approach the now or the soon-to-be now with unconsciousness, then there is repetition. This is powerful and important. So as we come together today, breathing consciously, and igniting in our consciousness that which we know is wholesome and pure and true for us, we give that divine energization, that co-creation to that very vision.
Exactly. And so, Shri, I'm going to ask you if you can bring that in for us, please. So,
all right, here
as you're breathing and bringing that in, staying in that energy, I want you to experience this. There we go. All right. For those of you that were blessed enough to be on the full moon ceremony with Jess yesterday, wow, extremely powerful. And this was the journey. This is the journey. You are staring at where consciousness is literally bouncing like a lifeboat on the sea of neutrality. And if you notice, I just want to remind you of what you're gazing at. So that beautiful pyramid has now been formed. Just yesterday, that final golden wheel, so to speak, started spinning. So on the left, we have that beautiful February. Remember, that was when that first crystalline heart moon opened up and said, boom. And it opened up outside of where we are now. And through that month, through that moment of February, heading into that March experience, the March equinox, we had that Jupiter, right? Go back and look at the calendars. We had that massive Jupiter moment that came in and brought us this golden ray amplification. Now, that was the bump that we all needed just to make it to March. Remember that, guys? And that, remember that each one of these circles is tied to the full moons and is tied to the energy that is sustaining 2022 through the energy of co-creative momentum. So gaze up at the top right there and you see the full moon again. This year, 2022, is about holding open the eye of divine mastery presence. And if you look at March, that March moment at the top of the pyramid, what happened? You see us in the middle there? You are that radiant beam of eternal light, the ultimate truth of a Shiva Linga, the eternal presence that has no beginning and has no end, yet can step forward into form in and out of the stream eternally. That ignited, and the eye opened wider. And now that we are here, and this just happened yesterday and is honestly still anchoring now, right?
Yes.
Now all of this is spinning. And that life raft is over a sea of neutrality that is, and you see it almost looks like a bubble, right? That beautiful bubble. We are in a moment where it is the invitation of the universe for all of humanity. Right now, today, no accident, the conversions, it's been like 30 some years since all these convergence of all the major traditions have come together. Why? Because we are at the moment where oneness is right in front of us, where we can honestly pay attention and say, if everything is overlapping, is it not the universe saying, are we not better together? Pay attention, my angels. Yeah. Who's coming into your life? When you meet someone right now who perhaps is carrying a similar vision or perhaps is carrying a similar mission, they might be expressing it a little differently. They might be doing it a little differently. But when you engage with them, are you able to welcome them with an open heart, or do you polarize because you're afraid, because you're in this concentric experience and density that wants you to believe that competition is real, that scarcity is real? And I want you to take a moment because I really want to invite you to go deep with this. And then we're going to read some of the extraordinary comments and questions coming in over at YouTube that Jess is sending our way. But I want you to take a moment because I want to share with you a journey. You know, every week, Shri and I, we share with you what the energy for the week is, how it's moving forward. And as you all know, the Yoga of Self-Ascension is to be able to sustain the ascended mastery presence in this form, in the highest potentiality. And this is why the body will continually reverse aging and continually keep sustaining itself or not, is when your consciousness is in or slips out of the attention and focus, the awareness experience choice of the conscious potentiality where you are serving. And I want you to breathe that in, and you can always go back and listen to this recording again because I promise you understand everything I'm saying. And so as you're breathing that in, and as you are receiving that within you now, Shri opened up with a very important lesson. I am here. I remember many, many years ago when these bodies of form were delivering the ensoulments in New Mexico. And I remember the I am here's. I remember how many just threw that around. Mm-hmm. And I remember over the past few years, the blessing that Shri and I were offered to begin up-leveling the energy that was brought in by our beloved masters and teachers, the beautiful ones, Godfrey Ray King, and all of those who brought through the I Am books. I want to share with you, though, that we are at a new time. Clinging to the phraseology, owning it, holding it as your life raft in the old books, of which Sri and I are blessed to have virtually original copies of every single one, thanks to the generosity of our community.
Yes.
The phraseology, the way those books were put together, the way that the energy came in was for that time and to seed consciousness so that when this time arose, the resurrection of I am here can come forward as the up-leveled gift it is meant to be. Breathe that in. Okay, let me continue. Keeping up with me? I know you are. All right. If you've been part of our Monday Magic, and we pray that you are, and we pray that you all are, and if you're not, get to SriandGetToCure.com and get in there right now.
Join us.
Right? Join us, be there, because that's where the real work happens, right? If you've been part of it, and remember that it was COVID that started Monday Magic. It was Sri and I came out in March and said, we will be here. We will sit with you. We were on the air every day. We were with each other. We went through this. We are still here. And Monday Magic is now better than it has ever been, with a greater amount of participation because of this incredible community, because of you. So what does it take to go beyond the attachment? And that is the word. The attachment to what was written before, in lieu of the actual revelation, manifestation of the miracles that are right before you right now and yours to command, if you just let go of it and accept the blessing of this moment that's before you without the terror and fear of saying yes to your best life ever. Breathe that in. So you may be saying to yourself, all right, Kira, I'm with you. I understand. Where's all this going? Well, here's where it's going. We, through Monday Magic, as you all know, we're up-leveling and working with passages of these books. We have been asked to literally up-level an entire volume, of which I know the universe will provide the space for Sri and I to go into seclusion and do that. Right now, what you need to be looking at in your life is how much you trust you. Do you really have steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust in you? And if you don't, then you keep showing up here every Sunday. You keep coming to Monday Magic every Monday. Make sure you are there April 27th, because the law of instantaneous, as a matter of fact, do we have an April 27 graphic?
Let me take a peek.
Because this is important, guys. The law of instantaneous no, that's the Ascended Numerology. This was, I think last week we might have. So this is the event that's coming up, and I don't even want to use the word event. There is a 3-part, and the only words I can offer it is up-level potentiality understanding. For those of you that know, we have once again tilted. We keep getting closer. We keep having those drops. The balance is coming closer. However, the fear of letting go of the dogma, and what is 2022? We talked about this in January. 2022 is all about, can humanity survive dogma? And if you go back and track with everything we have been sharing, what you're going to get is, number one, a mouth-dropping experience of, yeah, this is all unfolding. It is not that Sri and I have some special hookup. It is not that we are that magical. What it is that I am as you are. And the I am of the divine mastery presence of that which is Master Lady Kira Ra has ignited fully this body. And in that experience, the steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust just become one thing, your life.
Yes.
Sri and I don't work. We live our lives. We don't wake up in the morning saying, these things must be done for us to have a life. We do because we are. We emerge each day through that which presents, trusting that the universe is always putting the dominoes in front of us in a way that when that moment is of the highest service for the all, they click.
Yes.
And they have been clicking so fast that we're actually having a hard time keeping up with them because of that moment of knowing. We are at a resurrection. We are at a resurrection. And, this is the blessing for you as well. You are at a moment of divine resurrection. The question is, what are you resurrecting and what are you resolving? Because the Mercury retrograde that begins the post phase next week is already raising its hand. This is what I call the fun dance, right? I've already noticed, Shri and I, for example, we have been really trying to get you guys new pictures of us because I know people often complain that, hey, you don't look like that in real life. Well, actually, we do look like that pretty much in real life, what you're seeing right now at our website, but we want to really be as nakedly authentic as we can. We have had to schedule that again. And I'm just giving you little examples that things are getting redone. This retrograde is going to be so amazing and so fun and so incredible. And as we are all pyramids surfing the sea of neutrality, what are we filling our lives with? What are we filling our illuminated presence with? Because what's happening is that boat is you are basically hovering. You are really hovering. You're basically that energy of the seventh dimensional frequency of ascended presence hovering over the sea of neutrality, thereby holding the illumination so that more in density as they gaze through that which has become much harder to find. And we talked about that in 2019 and 2020 and 2021, that it would get very hard to find. Not that it was going away, but when they gaze, they're now seeing water. Let our pyramid of light illuminate that water of clarity so much that the water becomes something they see right through as if it does not even exist. And they go, oh, there you are, and lift. May we rise within the pyramid of illumination, all those who are ready, from our ability to sustain the sea of neutrality. I am here. I am here. This is the moment of potentiality. And this is why this miracle has happened. And so we're going to talk about that miracle, but Shri, we are getting lots of notifications, and I think you all might want to hear Shri speaking. However, what Shri and I shared before we got on the air today is that this potentiality moment, we are at 11:59:59, and that's not meant to be anything other than woohoo. Because when we are at 11:59:59, it means we have the choice to either pop or drop. And I don't know about you, but I happen to really like a good French champagne once in a while. Let's pop a few corks, right, guys? Let's do it. Let's do it. So, Shri, wow, we are filled with sharings today.
All right, there's some wonderful celebrations here. Let me read them out loud. So Baldevi writes, I am here and I am love, no matter what the ego wants to focus upon. There you go.
That is a strong, powerful affirmation, Baldevi. Thank you for sharing it with all of us.
The ego is relaxing nonetheless,
Yay!
Which has been wondrous to observe. Thanks to Shri and Kira's support.
Oh, sweetheart. Just thank you for receiving the gift of you. That's the blessing.
Now, I want to underscore something.
Yeah.
Because on the spiritual path, the ego is groomed of the density experience. It's interwoven with fear and lack and polarity and duality and all those things that create a vibrant experience to evolve through. And so when she says the ego is relaxing, therein is the key.
The magic.
The ego is along for the journey, and as it relaxes into the love of your mastery, it doesn't interfere with your evolution. It gets to sit in the back seat.
We like that. How fun. All right.
All right. Jay and the Goddess had such a profound experience with I am here last week as the mastery presence.
Thank you.
Thank you for affirming your commitment.
May we ride this ocean together.
All right. Gary shares.
Hey, Gary.
This world has thrown everything it possibly can to Lynn and I to get us off track.
I'm sure.
And we keep on loving right through it. Thank you so much for your light and your love. We draw power from always.
Oh, thank you for
really
being such a stunning moment of illumination that the two of you are always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solik shares, passion is our purpose for alignment.
Yeah.
Trust is all about divine love and peace.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
yes, Salik, we got it.
All right. And breathe, rise. I don't know anything other than I am here and I am connected to the divine.
You don't need to know anything else. You're there.
You got
Good.
the foundation.
Right?
And it continues, the world can do what it wants because it really doesn't actively affect me.
And I want to add to that, because while I'm confident that this is not you, so please don't hear it in any other way, I want to read that line again. Mm-hmm. The world can do what it wants because it really doesn't actively affect me. The world can do what it wants because it doesn't actively affect me. The world can do what it wants. I want you to hear this.
Yeah, I got it.
Because it doesn't actively affect me. Because I only care about me, is what that really says to the planetary thought body. Density consciousness at its highest evolution is that. The highest evolution of density consciousness is that I am always happy, thereby I don't give a shit. Nothing else matters. And I'm not saying this was the inference here. But I am saying that this is extremely potent in the planetary thought body right now. And even if you feel that you're saying this from a purpose of higher standards, what you're really saying is, if it doesn't affect me, if it's not in my living room, if it's not in my world, then hey, do whatever the hell you want. Yeah, okay. The voice of passionate action, right? And I believe Solik was talking about passion, right? Yeah. The voice of passionate action would invite the up level of, I am here, anchored in the sea of neutrality, thereby able to hold the transcendent energy that is outside of all dogma and judgment of that which is, so that I am fully here to serve. It is through the passionate action of service, through the inspired action of the divine radiating through us, that we expand. And I am calling a lot of you out. And I know it might trigger some of your egos, and that's okay. It's okay to have your ego triggered. It's okay. The key is, can you look at it rather than drown in it? Can you see what it's offering you in the trigger? Can you move through that trigger? And if you can't, I strongly suggest navigating the inner matrix. And if you've taken navigating the inner matrix, you're still being triggered, go redo it, right? Because the gift is that we are an ever refining spiral of divine, extraordinary energy. And Shri, can you please put that up, the color? And so it's a perfect moment to really, for all of us to gaze at this, which is the reminder that we are the pyramid of spiritual awakening, right? And so this is important. If you look at the colors here and the way that this has been unfolding on the planet right now, density consciousness is a me focus. It basically says, if it doesn't affect me, even if you're saying it doesn't affect your emotional body, it's still limited and it's judgmental. And when we move up to spiritual activism, which is the single most dangerous level on the planet, it weaves itself with healing. But remember, wounded leaders create wounded beings. Wounded healers attract wounded beings as well, and the partners in pain become expanded. Our world is right now trying to expand through being partners in pain. And that's why Shri and I stand here saying we will not join you as a partner in pain, even if you get mad at what we're sharing. What we will do is hold the integrity of the new world. Yep. We will hold the consciousness of the sea of neutrality and invite all to witness that, because what you think of me is none of my business. The only me that is left here is that part that animates this physical body to receive the divine illumination of that which is right now. And that is the yoga of self-ascension. And that is you. Yes. Because what we are doing, who we are, is not anything you are not capable of being. But the catch is that at some point, your mastery presence takes charge of the ego that's seeking to self-preserve and derail you through the utilization of trigger energy. And it's all around us. Just like beautiful Gary said, oh my gosh, it threw me everything. But the choice was to stay illuminated. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I really felt that was an important discernment on this day of resurrection. Why not resurrect the way that we phrase? Even if we say, I didn't mean that. Your words, when they are expressed, matter. That's why Sri and I frequently work with each other, because we are adeptly aware that the utilization of the phraseology of what we are offering matters. Because at the end of the day, is it not that we're already receiving each other in this experience of divine presence, and everything we're saying here is just fun for what's left of the brain?
It's important to recognize that your evolutionary process is an ever-refining journey. Our language must refine. Our ability to discern refines. And in that more elegant recognition of experience, we begin to discover how sly the ego can be, because it's like a pirate.
So
it wants to come in and say, I'm still in charge. I'm still here.
If you've read Sacred Union, Archangel Zodkiel, the ego is a sly pirate that will do anything to stop your self-ascended presence, because it is self-preserving and has no care for that which you are.
And so the ego thrives on being important or right. And it seeks validation through other beings saying, "Oh, you were right."
Partners in pain.
And on the flip side, if you've been hurt, it's like, "No, you're right to feel victimized. You're right to feel less than, etc."
Well, that brings us to the density trifecta, Sri. And I know. Okay, would you please bring it up, because this is important. We've been talking about this now for several weeks, and it's just, we can't stress it enough that the density trifecta energy is, everything is rising, because everything, I'd like that one, please, that has the Merkaba. Thanks. So we're going to change it for the other one. We want to change it for the one that shows the whole thing, because we're beyond that. That's an older one now. That's where we're at now. There we are. No, that's the same one again, sweetheart. I want that one.
That one. Okay,
yeah. So sorry. See, it's Mercury. We're showing you the same one twice. I'm telling you guys.
Let me get rid of these other ones.
All right, there we go. It's that one. There we are.
Here we are.
Okay, so this is important to understand. Why? First and foremost, 2022 is all about the energy of the 6. The ascended numerological sequence of 2022 right now is about our ability to anchor the vehicles of our own divine creation. Now, in its equilateral form, the Merkaba sustains density. It ignites higher experience of density. However, it is incapable of transcending density. And when we're done, I'll show you the other way. So for 2022, one way or another, you are going to anchor Merkaba energy. And when we gaze here, remember that the victim triangle, which is what we are born into in density consciousness in this choice of the experience of potentiality, is always based upon victim, rescuer, abuser. It is the trinity of this form, this world experience of density. You will always either be a victim, a rescuer, or an abuser. It will continually cycle. And that is what sustains the egoic presence. And it's actually what many people call karma. This is the karma. The karma is this cycle. It's the buy-in of this cycle. Now, what has happened, and you look at the other triangle that came forward, that is the cycle of self-sabotage. And you see we left the arrows in here. And that was that first picture Sri was showing you. The cycle of self-sabotage started rearing earlier this year, and the energies that sustain the cycle of self-sabotage are fear, doubt, and hesitancy. So what has happened over the past cycle, building up to this moon, the anchoring of this heart moon right now, is that both Merkabas are anchoring in that second wave of experience. So you are either anchoring either way you're anchoring a Merkaba. So you're either anchoring this Merkaba, which is created of the energies of the victim, rescuer, abuser, sustained by fear, doubt, and hesitancy, right? Or you've anchored up into the self-ascended Merkaba, or you're dancing between the two all the time, which is probably making you insane. And I say that tongue-in-cheek, yet with all seriousness. So before we go from this, I want you to look through the type. So you see the type there that says the density trifecta sustains and creates the self-sabotage cycle as the propellant of the Merkaba of the density consciousness. Because when you look through that, there you are. You and Shri talked a lot about this last week. Make sure you go check out last week's show. You are always there. That's you. You are 0 point energy. You are the ignition of the torus field of creation. And what's important to remember about that right now is that here we are in 2022, and we are at a moment where the Merkaba, and I'm going to have Shri put that one up now. There we are. Thank you. This is 2022. Remember that 2022 is all about the ignition of the Merkaba of self-ascension, which is where we take the energy of the Merkaba and we are able to stay in the golden mean ratio experience, where the peace, love, and joy anchor as the energy of our creation cycle rather than the fear, doubt, and hesitancy. Where the energy, co-creative power, and momentum of 2022 is able to be experienced, and where the victim, abuser, rescuer has transformed fully into the ascended presence of that which I am as the teacher, healer, mentor. So take in a breath, because that's all happening in this resurrection right now. And next week, when that Mercury retrograde comes in, it's going on steroids.
You know, it's an amazing journey. The deeper we look, the more refined our discernments become. And to recognize that these energetic flows are operating in such an infinitesimally small space before perception.
Yeah.
So it's I don't want to get too technical, yet it's important to recognize that we are experiencing life through a nervous system, through a perceptual filter, through an egoic filter.
There it is.
So all of those filters are right up there, ready to come online in 1/10,000th of a second. So here's an interaction with another being, another situation, and the energy bloop, and it goes through the filters, and the filters go, oh, that's not right, you've been hurt, or whatever it is, because according to the context of the victim, that's reality. It's true.
Right.
We're not here to argue that a person who is carrying the need to heal their victim energy will attract abusers.
We all do.
We've evolved through that, right?
There's no judgment here, because this is what we're all born into. What the awesome thing is that you know it. And when we know it, we don't have to judge ourselves. We just can see it and go, there it is.
So in that 1/10,000th of a second, something comes up. You go, oh, I'm starting to collapse. And then the witnesser goes,
I am. Ooh, witnesser. Yes.
And then you can recontextualize that experience and bring something else forward that is more aligned with your authenticity.
There it is. And you know, Shri, while you're sharing, how do I show that? While you're sharing, what's important, guys, is what Shri said. I want to go back. So if you have not connected with this for a while, and then we have some more sharings we're going to bring in from you guys, remember, in the third dimension, this graphic right here, this is the expanded graphic of the multidimensional presence that we have all been invited to anchor, that opened in 2015. This potentiality opened. This is why we put out the 7 polarities of free will. So remember that in the third dimension, and this is very common, very popular mainstream work, teaching you how to witness yourself, teaching you how to go into a still moment. It's still all very third dimension. It might open you up to some third eye type experiences, but remember, the third eye itself can only ignite consciousness to the level of awareness you're willing to receive. And so as that witness evolves, they lift into that 5th dimension where you become the witnesser. Now, in order to lift into the witnesser, it means you have compassion for yourself. It means you've begun with that unconditional love of you. And then what's happening on the planet right now is that through all of these convergences, we have been given the opportunity, the rare gift, to actually step into our 7th dimensional witnessing power. And with that, Shri, I wanna. Do you have the big announcement? I want to talk to them about the resurrection. Do you have the Mexico journey?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk to you guys before we bring you in. I want you to hear this. The reason we've got this background, the reason we're talking about all of this, the reason that this is getting all so important, and I'm going to let Shri share it with you, is because we are going to be here. We are going to be here. We are going to be in Merida from June 19 to 23. This journey, we can only accept 20 because this is the sacred moment where we are going to clear, ignite, and begin the divine unification. This is the amplification that will get humanity to September. This month, those of you that have been listening to us, April, by the end of this month, the world will be a different place. And when we get together in June, it will matter more than it will have ever mattered before. And what is happening is extraordinary. This journey even costed out to a magical, very affordable, crazy affordable number. If you are interested, I sense that Jess and Sue and Dana and everybody's already been giving you. Go to ShriandKira.com, click on it, download the PDF. But guys, as of this show, we're already halfway sold out. So please let us know, because this one journey is going, for the first time in 7 years since the death of an ombudsman, we will gather.
Yeah.
And Cesar Mena, his son, will lead this ceremony. And this land needs clearing, and this land needs love. And we have hired the drone to get all of the land. There are Mayan ruins there that he knows where they are, that yes, we will be going and exploring together for the first time. Can you even imagine the energy? There are cenotes on this property. And at the request of Cesar, there are 3 very sacred sites that we must also visit in the perfect balance of the 4. And so we will first go to Chichen Itza. Remember, this is the Itza Maya. The Chichen Itza is the home city of the Itza Maya, of which Cesar Mena is the direct lineage holder, chief/king of this group. We will start there. And then we will move forward through the blessing of the observatory at Mayapan, because we're going to need to be looking at all of the astronomical and astrological experiences outside. This is cosmological, guys. This has nothing to do with the dogma. Together, we are coming as the sea of neutrality to hold hands outside of dogma and let this birth. And then we will be going to this extraordinary place. And then we will culminate over at Uxmal. And at the Pyramid of the Magician, there is much to share. Shri and I have been there in anticipation of this trip. We already know where we were asked to bring you and where we were invited to be with you. The revelations that happened the last time we were there were so profound. We've yet to keep writing them all down. And so this trip is extremely affordable. It is a 4-star journey, beautiful hotels, comfort, yet magic. Yep. So please get to ShriandKira.com. If you're serious, write Sue immediately. Just say, Sue, I need to be here. The deposit is $222. That's $222 to say, yeah, I need this space, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
All right.
As also, I just want to point out that you can join us either at Cancun or Merida, depending on if you want a little excursion yourself.
And that's all in the PDF. However, remember, the excursion is in Merida. Let's let them read the PDF, because we don't want to confuse anyone. There is no Cancun portion included in this trip. What there is the opportunity to fly into Cancun, where we have arranged transportation to get you to Merida, because some people want to fly to Cancun and some want to fly to Merida. What Shri's inferring is what we've chosen to do, which is, we're flying in a few days early and we're going to enjoy the fun. So you might want to do that yourself, just knowing when you need to greet us and get on the fun with us to get down to Merida. So it's your choice.
Yeah,
and
it's all at the website. Take a peek.
It's all in the PDF, and we're excited. So Shri, I want to hear from our gorgeous community.
Well,
Please
here,
share.
so as we're picking up on some of the sharings, Breathe writes, and she was the one that stimulated that beautiful teaching.
She, I don't know if it's a she.
He, I'm sorry. But basically saying, yes, anything that provides us with a lesson is a good thing.
Right? Is that the blessing?
Thank you for your positive orientation.
Thank you for being the gift that you are. And that is the blessing indeed.
And Maria shares, wow, great and deep explanation. So powerful. Thank you, beloved Shri and Kira.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Jay in the Goddess shares, integrity of the new world. So be it.
So it is. And remember, go to TosaBlueMountain.com. Get down here, guys. The September equinox, this culminating, remember, it's March, June, September, happening here at Tosa Blue Mountain. We're almost sold out for that as well. If you want to come before or at any time, please join us. We have people here all the time, and it is our honor. TosaBlueMountain.com. And remember, New Year, always a happening if you want a group event.
Yes. And one more sharing here. At this moment, Sarah writes, this morning started for me feeling the sensation of resurrection. I am hearing and feeling this conversation supported in not only my own, but the resurrection of all.
Yes.
Thank you for this today.
Oh, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And as we're taking in a breather, I was going to say a breather because I was looking over here. What I would enjoy is to share with you the Ascended Numerology, because it's important to understand what your body's going through. So, Shri, let's put up the Ascended Numerology for April. And of course, your questions and comments are still welcomed as well. And here's what I want you to look at. So, remember that the Ascended Numerology for April, overall, the entire month is about vision. If you gaze at that green pyramid on the body of form, it's all about vision. And as you gaze at this, and one day someone's going to come to me and say, Kira, I know how to make this as animated, all your charts. And I'm going to say, we love you for eternity. And so what you're gazing at right now, remember, all of this is kind of moving and laying over each other because of that infinite spiral. That's what that dashed line is. So when you see those arrows coming out around the body to that egg, that is the infinite presence that is radiating very, very strongly this month, because April 2022 itself is about perfect balance with the infinite as the 13. This is the totality of the wheel. Look at the wheel. There isn't a number that doesn't have something happening with it. Yeah. This is the totality. And what's so powerful is it's a pull forward. I want you to look at that April 1 illuminated new moon ignition. You see the 9? I want you to go back over to the wheel right now and watch the purple. That new moon ignition came in on one of the strongest anchor points in a month where we are anchoring. So the month itself is about the vision anchoring. And it came in through the new moon, which says the sky's the limit. But here's the catch. That 9 literally is pulling us. You see that? It's like it's forcing us forward because we're completely empty on the 12 to the 3. So the power of that new moon is what pushed us to Saturday, where we are now. So you see that? We've gone from the 9 to the 5. And now that we're at the 5, the fun begins, because this is where the month gets big. And this is, if you were to make layers of the full chart that I showed you there, you're starting at the vision where you went back, right? You see that 7 on the wheel? So we open up with the vision. We go back to the 6, which is that balance point, another anchor point, but it shot us right back up into the infinite, where we came out again at that 4, went right back out into the infinite, and this all happened in like a microsecond of potentiality, because when it became actually April 1, we wound up at the 9. This is why when you look at your body, look at the 5. This is why Shri and I are really giving you the resurrection. We're giving you the clarity, the integrity, the strong presence of what's happening right now, because this right now, this moment, and we are here until the 25th, this week is all about your truth. It's all about the full heart moon anchoring the second of the 4 harmonic flows that is all about your truth. Living your truth, saying your truth, being your truth. And that's going to expand. And when that Mercury retrograde prephase begins, the divine energy is going to combine with that truth. And on April 30th, when we walk into the first of that 2 solar eclipse experiences for the year, it's going to leave us in our manifested destiny.
Ooh.
Literally, fabulous. It's new.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a, I don't want to disconnect us. I was going to hit finish, and I think that would have ended us. That's why I'm saying by the end of this month, the world is a different place. Yeah. So where do you want that to be? What is your truth expressing? I am here as the sea of neutrality, and I know that. Yeah. I am outside of that which would seek to align with a partner in pain, and champions the resurrection of the all into their divine mastery presence. Together we are better. Earlier on, I challenged you with a question that said, when you meet someone who's doing something similar, maybe doing it a different way, how do you respond to them? Well, part of the reason I shared that with you is because this week I was invited to sit with a group of women. And they were incredibly beautiful, incredibly well-intended. And yet, I was met with jealousy and competition and a lack of receptivity. This group, this beautiful group, it has no money, a very powerful mission. They really deserve to have their experience go broader. Yet they are unable to see that they are limited by their own dogma and preoccupations with who will be the famous one, who will get the money, and who gets to be the one that whatever influence they feel they would yield would come forward. So with great sadness, I declined being part of this group. And I'm sharing this with you only because nothing was said overtly. It was in their actions. It was in those words, similar to the words that Beautiful Breathe gave us earlier. And as was verified right after the call, because again, most women still enjoy, forgive me, gals, I love you with all my heart and soul, but honestly, if you ever want to know the state of women's consciousness, go listen to them talk and you'll know immediately, right? And so I choose to not be a partner in pain. I choose not to live in density drama. I choose not to engage at that level. I choose to do the work that supports all. I choose to know that my decisions will not ever affect me in any way, and that sometimes they might affect me negatively, but it does not matter because my decision-making process is not even started at a moment that would consider the illusional experience of this body and form. And so when we meet others whose hearts are open, and I did cry many tears around this. It really was a remnant within my own healing process to see how many women still refuse to champion each other and still find competition, greed, and jealousy among each other, and how they can use each other. This resurrection is to sustain all. Let us not forget that it was women wellness awakenings that arose on 8/8/2020 with the Lion's Gate to champion the divine feminine. And Shri, would you please share with them the final, that one?
This one right here?
Yes.
Okay.
And so,
on a second.
Through the diligence and the dedication and the commitment to the consciousness expansion, we have been so blessed that on our planet, we have reached this moment where the cosmic Isis, that's the wrong one, sweetheart. I need the full one, the up-leveled.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I was like, why isn't that right? It's because it's the wrong one.
Yeah,
that one. Thank you. See, Mercury, we've done everything twice today. All right. So, and I need that gone, please. Thank you. So the cosmic Isis ignition of March 6, 2022 hit its peak at the March equinox. And that's what you're gazing at here. This is the unification of the shield of Zodkill, the pulse wave of the heartbeat of the universal heart of Avesa, the open ignited eye of the universe, sustained by the cradle of the opened harmonic of the golden ignition. And if you look in real close and you gaze real tight at that golden top, you'll notice that in there, it's like you're gazing through. That's the portal into the other realms. If you gaze through that, you see the divine galactic blueprint. That is the gateway. The flame of ignition that arises out of the cosmic Isis throne is the gateway that's already calling you through to step into that which I am. In the highest potentiality, all those spiraling numbers are the sacred sequences of incarnation. You see multiple intersections of infinite energy pulsing throughout this. And this is all happening, and you can let that go. I want to show you one more just to make sure you guys remember. This is all happening inside of the sea of neutrality. I believe we have just that. Let's keep going. Yes, that one. That should do it. There it is. Remember that this is the very unique energy of 2022. If you have the up-level calendar for 2022, which I pray you do, that's the unique energy. And so my loves, my beloved angels, as we get close to the culmination of this moment together in this resurrection, bring your hands to your heart. Today is a day where humanity, through all dogma and all traditions, is being invited to relax the jealousy, relax the greed, relax the competition, relax the need to dominate, to open our eyes wider, to see that we are ready to receive the blessings that are being gifted to us, and to say yes to the truth of that which I am here to be.
As we breathe together, that's your cue. As we breathe together, be in the knowing of the power of your activated heart. Beyond all need to figure it out, beyond all need to be right or wrong, there is indeed an ocean. Mm-hmm. And as Rumi has pointed out, there is a field, and I will meet you there.
And together we will dance there.
Absolutely.
I believe the Lost Books of the Essene calls that the lion that came out of the woods.
Yes.
Beloved angels of divine presence and all that is, as you dive into the week ahead, may you with each breath remember your choice to be is as simple as saying yes. We are in a moment where it is all about your truth, expressing and being, and remembering that the resurrection that is here is the sustaining force that will take us through to the September equinox, when the balance of the divine feminine will arise again. We pray we see you either in June in Mexico, September at Tosa Blue Mountain, or here at Tosa Blue Mountain any other time. Yes. And if you have not yet secured your space for April 27, the 3-part journey of the law of instantaneous manifestation is the only thing that pulled Shri out of our 1 year we were told not to do anything like this. It is such a heightened state in this field of potentiality where we have all anchored today, that we are now ready. Join us and give yourselves that support. At least be there for the first session. It's our gift to you. It's April 27. Please make sure you're there. Mexico, Tosa Blue Mountain, your world, your beautiful Shangri-La, from ours to yours. May you know how much we love you.
And as we are present with you in this moment, please feel our gratitude. We love you, we respect you, and we are delighted to be